Have you ever dreamed of defeating an enemy with a pufferfish, your home gym, and a freeze ray? That colorful mashup of chaotic weaponry is precisely what the Bazaar delivers in its inventive take on the auto-battler genre. Blending the deck-building flair of Hearthstone with the lighthearted strategic elements of Super Auto Pets, the game offers a PvPvE loop that's easy to learn yet deceptively difficult to master. With every new run, knowledge quickly becomes your greatest ally, and figuring out item synergies can be just as thrilling as any high-stakes competitive game. Each run begins with selecting one of 4 heroes. Vanessa, the starter character, comes unlocked by default, while the remaining 3 can be purchased using in-game currency. Vanessa's kit excels at combining weapons, poison effects, and burn mechanics, making her an excellent choice for newcomers. The run itself is structured into days, each containing 6 hours. During these hours, you choose from 3 potential encounters, specialized shops for weapons, shields, or non-weapon items, among other possibilities. Once per day, you face an NPC opponent of escalating difficulty levels. Easy, harder, and hardest. While a more challenging foe yields better rewards and the chance to acquire one of its items, it also raises the risk of losing. That tension between high reward and high risk decision making is a core part of the Bazaar's addictive appeal. Not only do you face off against NPCs, but you also battle the ghosts of other players' builds at the end of each day. If you can deplete their health before they can deplete yours, you earn a win towards your final goal. Collect 4 wins for a bronze victory, 7 for a silver, and 10 for a gold. More daring players can aim for a diamond victory, which is awarded only if you secure all 10 wins without losing any prestige. One of the game's standout mechanics is prestige. You start each run with 20 prestige points, which represents your remaining margin for error. You only lose prestige when you lose a PvP fight, and the amount of prestige lost is determined by the day the battle takes place. For example, losing on day 1 is a loss of 1 prestige, but losing on day 10 means you lose 10 prestige. If you ever reach 0, you receive a final buff and one last shot at a victory before your run is over. These stakes feel fair and ramp up steadily, giving each day an undercurrent of excitement as you wonder whether you can survive the next big confrontation. Synergy is the beating heart of the Bazaar. Items often interact with one another in surprising ways, leading to wildly creative combos. A burn-based relic might have its cooldown shortened each time an enemy is slowed, effectively turbocharging your attack when paired with a slow inflicting device. In one scenario, you could stack multiple synergy triggers, cutting a powerful item's 7-second cooldown to a nearly instant interval. Witnessing your carefully orchestrated combination come to life feels immensely rewarding, especially if you manage to chain them in a way that leaves your opponents defenseless. The order in which you place your items on your board matters too. Adjacency can trigger extra effects or multiply damage, adding another layer of puzzle-like strategy to each run. However, randomness can be both exciting and frustrating. Shops present a rotating selection of items, and there's never a guarantee you'll stumble upon the exact card you're looking for. Forcing a build around a single rare drop often backfires if the shop refuses to cooperate. Still, when your desired piece finally appears, the rush of snagging it and completing a nearly unstoppable loadout is well worth the occasional disappointment. Over the past several months, developer Tempo has evolved the Bazaar from a closed beta environment to a full 1.0 release. Along the way, the game faced community backlash regarding microtransactions, particularly when Battle Pass exclusive items gave players a gameplay advantage. Early adopters were vocal, fearing a slippery slope into a pay-to-win model. In response, Tempo shifted towards a friendlier structure that grants players free access to the Battle Pass and steers purchases primarily to cosmetic items. The 1.0 release also introduced Mach, an ancient alchemist hero with a knack for poison and burn-based damage. Mach feels exceptionally potent right now, but the player community is quickly learning counters that lessen his edge. It is possible that some of his items will be toned down in future patches, yet his inclusion illustrates Tempo's willingness to keep gameplay fresh and unpredictable. Even so, the core balance remains surprisingly stable, with each hero offering a viable path to a victorious run. While a new player might find early runs daunting, particularly when matched against veteran players who have logged hundreds of hours, persistence pays off. The best approach is to focus on one character until you understand its item pool and learn to identify profitable synergies on the fly. Observing successful opponents can also fast-track your education as you see firsthand how certain items line up to produce devastating combos. The Bazaar's cyclical nature hooks you in. Even if you lose spectacularly, you'll be tempted to jump right back into another run. Chasing a signature build or trying to replicate a particularly lethal combo leads to a just one more game mindset. With its ever-growing roster of heroes, frequent balance patches, and extensive item library, there is always something new to discover or perfect. The bottom line is that the Bazaar is a shining example of innovation in the auto-battler genre. The synergy-driven gameplay combined with its high-stakes approach to prestige and daily encounters makes for a deeply rewarding experience that encourages creativity, risk-taking, and adaptability. The free-to-play model removes removes the barrier to entry, so there's little reason not to give it a shot, particularly if you enjoy strategic card battles. Despite a few early stumbles with monetization, Tempo has steered the Bazaar towards a more equitable future, and the 1.0 launch suggests that the best is yet to come. If you're in the market for an endlessly replayable game packed with inventive combos and fierce competition, the Bazaar will not disappoint. And that's why I'm giving the Bazaar a 9 out of 10.